sometimes they're not doing it on purpose. They have a special need and the parents are trying their best. Welcome to Twin Talks. I'm Nadia.
And I'm Nikki.
And today's episode is talking to parents who have special needs kids. How you can get help.
And navigate through the difficulties of finding help.
Some parents get all judgy and they think that it's a behavioral problem, and sometimes it's just not. As a parent in general, just to have a kid that functions at a normal capacity, it's difficult. But to have a special needs kid and you're not expecting it, it can be very, very challenging. And I feel that there's not enough compassion for those parents, because we're all learning. I mean, parenting is not easy.
No book.
It's not easy. Some of the parents know that their kid's special needs. Some of them are in denial about it. And some of them just are trying to get through the day knowing that they have a special needs kid, and you've got all these other parents making their comments when it's hard enough just being a parent, period.
Yeah.
One day I went to the grocery store with my son. We're in the grocery store and it's clear that one of these parents, she had 3 kids and one was clearly autistic. She had 3 kids and she was by herself. And someone walks up to her and says, "Keep your kid under control."
Oh my
and
gosh.
starts chewing her out. Now, I didn't say anything, but I was just going, wow, where's the compassion? I should have said something. I was just in shock by it. I didn't know what to say. I should have said something, though.
To defend that.
To defend the parent, because it's hard enough when you have your own kid. And
Any
then you've
kids.
got any kid, and then you've got the judgment of other parents. It's hard. It's a hard job. I mean, I'm not saying all parents are like that, but you need to have compassion that even with a kid who is acting up and they're normal.
Yeah.
Don't step in because you don't know what actually happened.
The context.
The context is always important. So when someone's losing their patience, don't say a word if you don't know the context. That's what I would say.
When you get pregnant, there's all this hope and wonder about what's coming next, right? And everyone feels like it's not going to be them. Not that there's a problem. Every kid is lovable. Everybody's here for a reason. But when it happens to you, there's kind of like people go, oh, okay, so now what? Because maybe they don't have a sibling or a parent who suffers in either a physical or a cognitive way, right?
Yeah.
And so they don't necessarily where do I go? What do I do? How do I go to the next level? And
Right.
it's everything. It's things like as simple as,
Going to the grocery store.
a friend and making a friend and having somebody to invite to a birthday party. When your kid is the one with fetal alcohol or with some cognitive
Autism
delay or some sort of level of autism
or physical impairment.
It's like they're left out, but they're good kids. They
Yeah.
just need somebody to love them too.
And compassion.
Yeah.
And the parents need it too, because it's not something you expect, right? So it's a loss of a dream for them too. And what I see is there is a lack of compassion for the parents and for those kids. But there's a way. If you're organized, there's a way to help the kids be in a network so that there's other kids like them. And you just got to be informed. From my experience, parents need to be proactive.
Mm-hmm.
They need to get a community behind them. They need to get the teachers involved. They need to get social workers, not 2 years before they graduate.
Yeah.
Do it as soon as possible so that you will have people to help your child navigate once they are out of school, which is usually at 21 years old.
Depending on what the severity of the issues are, there's plenty of programs out there to help parents navigate and to help the student or the kid get into adulthood. And what we see the most, it's like they're getting through the day, but they're not seeing long term.
Yeah.
And the long term is really important for special needs kids, right? Because at 21, if you're not planning long time in advance,
You may not
what do
get
you do?
anything.
The schooling is finished at 21,
Right.
and they still have to live their life until they're finished,
But I
right?
think a big problem is that a lot of the parents, as you said, are trying to get through the day, and by the time the day is over, they're tired, and before you know it, years have gone by. But you have to plan for your kid's future. So one of the things you could do is you can commandeer the teacher, and to do those forms, help them to get the forms
What
like
forms?
ODSP, DSO, and get the kids into that area where they have different programs to go to. If you're living in Ottawa or Ontario,
Disability Services of Ontario,
Ontario.
or Developmental
Developmental
Services of
that's
Ontario.
it.
That's DSO.
yes, and that's where you have a pathway. If you want to let your kid go to a show, a movie, or an educational thing, you pay for it, and then if you qualify, you'll have passport funding where you can get money to reimburse.
If the child is, let's say, high school age, somewhere between, let's say, 13 and
16,
21, I
yeah.
think 16,
Yeah.
you can apply for ODSP, which is the
pension.
it's like a little pension that you apply for usually around 16 to
Yes,
18
yeah.
before they graduate. It doesn't give a lot of money,
But
but
no.
you would go to your doctor and let them go through their medical health. They have to sign off on it.
Yeah.
And they have to apply for it. But if they do qualify
the kid help significantly.
with the money
Yes,
part.
with the financials, yes.
And then there was the Hansen Trust Fund. If you're a parent, you probably would want to start around, 15 or 16 years old. You would contact an accountant who's qualified to deal with students or children with disabilities. And there's a fund, I believe it's called the Hansen Trust Fund,
Yeah.
that the parent or the caregiver or the person in charge would set up for their child. So that
It's like a trust fund.
it's like a trust fund that you pay into when you're alive and are able to, with the intention of having that come after you pass. And then your executor or your power of attorney or whoever is taking over care of your child when you pass
Stipends, yeah.
get stipends to help them as they live their life without you.
Yes, exactly.
But people don't even know about it.
No, you really have to be informed. I guess the nutshell is we as parents, whether you have special needs kids or not, I think it's important to not be judgmental. I think there needs to be more empathy and compassion because it's difficult with a kid who doesn't have special needs. So I think as parents we need to understand that there's not a lot of help. Every kid's different and everybody's trying. A lot of us will strike out.
Yeah. But you know what? When you're looking
hard.
with student or people with special needs, there is that ODSP, there's the Hansen's Trust Fund,
DSO.
there's the DSO, like the Developmental Services of Ontario. If you're filing your taxes, there's a disability tax
Credit that
or
you can
credit
get.
that you can get as the care provider on behalf of your kid. The thing is, it's really important to not shy away from what's there. Like, I get that people want to be inclusive and be treated like everyone else, but
you
we
do.
do need to understand that with a special needs kid
to plan.
comes a lot of finances, a lot of different pathways that you might not be savvy with. So take it. It's
Take
there.
it and plan. Waiting too long is just a detriment. Just plan for it and everything will work out if you plan. If not, it can be very onerous and very difficult.
And it's taxing
And
emotionally.
taxing emotionally on everything. So, I mean, I guess there could be a part 2 to this conversation, but I hope that you enjoyed our show. If you need to contact us, what do we do?
You like us on YouTube, Facebook, TikTok, and Instagram.
All
All right. See you next time on Twin Talks.